Hello everybody, Synthetic Future here. Today I want to take a look at SphereQuad by WA Production. SphereQuad is a multi-effect filter, flanger, phaser and chorus. It can be bought independently for €95, or you can get the Sphere bundle, which includes the delay, which I already covered, compressor and this plugin, the SphereQuad. So this intro you just heard is the JDXA running through SphereQuad. And for the rest of this video I'll be using a Synthmaster by KV331 Audio. Let's get into the interface of SphereQuad first. So let me get this SphereQuad in here. And it's important to know how the different effects interact with each other, so we have a better idea of how everything works. We'll start with the manual, and the manual has this diagram for how the flow is. Now there are two, because this is a stereo filter setup. You have a left and a right channel, but in my opinion it's a little bit more clear if I show it this way. So what do we have going on here? So you see the different elements of SphereQuad here. You have the incoming signal. It is split into three effects: the chorus, the phaser and the flanger, and the purple line. And I'm sorry if you're colorblind, this is going to be hard to discern from each other. Goes straight to the mixer. The mixer is the bottom part of the plugin. Then there's the filter. Saturation is down here. And the output. You can also route from one effect to another. So in the normal situation, the default situation, they're all parallel to each other. You can also put effects into series. So let's start off with exploring that. So let's turn off all the effects and all the routing. So right now if I play a note you won't hear any sound, of course, because nothing is routed. So let's start off with the most obvious option. That's the input, going past all the effects into the mixer, and that's what we call the input. Next up we'll take a look at the filter, which is the top part. So right now we have the signal going into the plugin, into the filter. We get a live feedback here of what's going on. And we have a stereo filter. With low pass, band pass, and high pass. And if you don't want to use it in stereo mode, you can also put it into sync mode, in which case it will be a mono filter. And next to the cutoff we get the emphasis, which is basically resonance. This is an analog modeled 24 dB per octave filter, and it's self-oscillating. We can get all sorts of crazy effects, and aside from the filter we can also use an LFO to control the filter. So the filter can do sample and hold, it can do sinus, it can do sawtooth, square, inverted sinus. It can go from super slow. Right into pretty much audio range, I guess. Maybe slightly under. You can also use an envelope filter, so if you play softer notes, it will not affect the filter. If you play louder notes, it will affect the filter. And of course there's a stereo and it can be BPM synced. So that's your filter part. Let's turn off the sound going directly into the filter. So now again, if I play something, you hear nothing. And let's turn on the flanger. And we also have to say that the sounds from the flanger is going into the filter, so we can actually hear it. Phaser. Chorus. So that's your basic routing, and if you activate multiple effects, it will be processed in parallel. So you will have the signal going into the chorus, into the mixer, into the phaser, into the mixer, into the flanger, into the mixer. Which with these settings sounds pretty horrible. So let's just quickly reset to the default. And let's get into a little bit more of an elaborate routing. So let's say we don't want to go straight into the mixer, so we turn off the input. Now what we can also do is say we want the signal to go into the chorus, from the chorus into the phaser, and from the phaser into the flanger. And then it will go into the mixer. So how do we set this up? So we say we want to go from the chorus. So the input for the chorus is the input for the plugin. Then we want to go into the phaser. So in the phaser we say we receive the signal from the chorus, not from the input. Then we want the flanger. So we go to the flanger, which receives from the phaser, but not from the input. And from there it will go into our mixer, so we can actually turn off the phaser and the chorus. And if we turn off any of the effects, we break the chain. So right now if I play a note and I turn off any of the three effects, it will break the chain and you won't get any output. And you can also do parallel processing next to this by saying, okay, I also want the chorus to go, or the phaser in this case, also receives from the input. And you can even say, I want the flanger to receive from the chorus as well. So there's quite a bit of a routing matrix hidden underneath this little bit of the plugin, which can make things a little bit complicated. It's not too much, but it's good to know what's going on there. So the last step you'll see here is the sequencer. Now the sequencer is for the cutoff of the filter. It can be beat synced. So let's put it to 1/8. You can set a range for how much it affects the filter, and you can set how many steps it has. So let's just go for 4 steps. We'll put the 4th step up. We'll put the cutout all the way down. So only at the 4th will we get a signal now, so we can and the sequencer can be combined with the filter to create some pretty weird eclectic behavior, especially if you turn off the beat sync on the oscillator. It can create some really weird, interesting sounds. Aside from this, we also get saturation. I'm not a huge fan of the WA production saturation style, but let's, for the sake of demonstration, go for it. So this sound is by itself already pretty harsh, so let me just quickly grab my pad sound. So it sounds like this. Quite often I found the saturation to be a bit harsh. Not the most useful feature of the plugin, but it's just an extra little thing you can choose to use, or you cannot use it, of course. That's all up to you. So let's go through some presets. I'll just stick with my sounds for now. So my sound is pretty simple. Actually, I might... No, there's already some harmonics in there, so this should work. So as you can hear, that's a lot of extra space to the sound. Let's try a few more presets. Let's just stick to pretty random. So that's interesting. Yeah, so that's the saturation you're hearing right there. That's really harsh. And with the LFO and the sequencer, you can add a lot of movement to your sounds. You can also create some really weird... So this is the filter actually self-oscillating. Fascinating effect. It's really cool to use as an effect in the background. There's quite a few presets in here, as you can see. Just one more for good taste. I'm more interested into butterfly. That does sound interesting. Where is it? Oh, there it is. So it effectively transforms the entire sound from where it was into something completely different. So it's really interesting. It adds a lot of width because this sound by itself, let's bypass again, really narrow. Actually, get me just get a scope in there. So as you can see, it's a completely straight line, so it's 100% center channel. And if you throw this in, so that's a world of difference. So that's really cool. So you have the option to make the sound really wide, really moving all the way from a sound that's basically just one static line with not a whole lot of variation. So that's definitely a way to use your chorus flanger phaser sequencer. Just for good measure, one of the things that did annoy me a little bit is the preset manager, because you can't just quickly flick through the presets. It's an issue that all the WA production stuff seems to have, at least these older plugins. They all lack the little arrow icons to quickly move through the presets. So that's some feedback I would really like to leave to this team. If you have the chance, please implement some little arrows to the side so we can quickly go through presets. So you can keep playing while you change your presets to taste. That would be highly appreciated. Aside from that, this plugin definitely very interesting, definitely different. I don't think there is a Flanger phaser chorus filter plugin around. Well, there are some more modular effects options, of course, or multi-effects, but most run for a lot more money than this plugin. So this is one to keep your eyes open for if you're in the business for these effects. I would definitely say check it out. You might just actually really like it. And of course you can also modulate these parameters with automations in your DAW to make it even wilder and stranger and more interesting than it already is. So I hope this gave you a good impression of what SphereQuad can do. I'll leave a link to the website in the description, and if you want to see more of me, more of my music and stuff, definitely check me out on Instagram. And that's where I will leave you for now. Have a nice day.